What's up, guys? We're back. It's been 3 months, even though I said 2 months from the last oil change, but I was pretty busy. It was pretty much all about work. But now that I got the day off, we're gonna do the oil change, and we're actually gonna do a nice full tune-up. Now, the air filter, it's on its way. Cabin filter, it's on its way. So I bought those from Amazon. Supposedly they're gonna be here, but that doesn't stop me from doing the oil change. For the oil change, we got, here we go again with motor flush. So I'll be adding that. 530, oil filter, spark plugs, and something else that I'll be doing is topping off my transmission fluid. It's probably like halfway. I use 2 bottles. It's like 1.5 or a quart and a half. Once you do the oil change, the transmission oil change or transmission fluid change. So that's another. Not sure if I'll record that part. I'll probably add some clips, but it's pretty simple on a manual transmission. And even though it says automatic transmission fluid, it could take both automatic and manual transmission fluid. I know that part because that one time I took it to the mechanic, and all they do is work on BMWs and Mercedes. And I asked him, and he said he recommends Redline D4 ATF. It's for automatic and manual. It's not just specifically for manual or specifically for automatic transmissions. For both, you could add this stuff. So I'm gonna top this off. I know I have like half just in case. I mean, I'm doing all of this. I won't be changing the spark plugs. I'll be doing the oil change, air filter, cabin filter, oil filter, of course. So, but this time's gonna be different. I'm actually gonna put you guys, I'll put a headband, and then so you guys kind of get a point of view of how everything's gonna get done. And I've been searching on some junkyards, and I still haven't found one. I'm gonna show you guys how to keep the original one and to last you a little bit longer once I found one. Most of them are all beat up. Mine's already cracked. So if you guys can see it from here, even though it shows some of the windshield wiper fluid, it's actually I can't go above that because it's cracked, and that's because there's so much heat in this area because of the headers. So it's cracked somewhere down there. So I'll show you guys how to prevent that from happening. But once I'll show you guys that, that's if it's gonna work. I mean, it's just in my head. It may work, but once I find an okay one, then we'll get to it. But most of the junkyards that have a BMW, most of them are all cracked. I could buy one, but they're going for 130, and I believe at the junkyard they were for 10 bucks. So that's why I want to find the right one, the okay one, not too beat up, not too cracked, but most of them are cracked. So I'll show you guys that. Or the second part would be, or the second choice would be patching the crack, but it's pretty old. You guys you could tell right away. It gets so hot here in the engine bay, and it's plastic. Even though water does prevent, or windshield wiper fluid prevents it from cracking or shrinking because it is plastic, but it does get old and fragile, and it gets to a point where it just starts cracking. But I'll show you guys. That'll be another video. So let's get to it. We're gonna start adding our engine flush. and then just clean any area that I didn't really make a mess, just a little bit, but just clean it. That's why I took up the cover, because there's the BMW cover on top, and most of the time it does sit somewhat flush to the oil cap. But yeah, let's say if you're pouring oil or anything, it usually goes right under the cover, and it just makes a big mess. That's why I took it off. I haven't put it back on because I was gonna do the spark plugs. So until today, that once I do the tune-up that we're doing, I'll put the cover back up. But there we go. Put the cap, and we'll let the car run for 5 minutes. Alright guys, so we'll let it idle for 5 minutes, and we'll check the oil again. Alright guys, so we let the car idle for 5 minutes. Now let's get with the oil change. So we'll come down here. And we'll get the second cup just to check it all over again, so we could get a sample at least. Okay guys, so we'll let that drain, and but before that, let me do the second flush. So I'll add some I'll add a quart of oil to get some of that old one that's in there. So I'll put fresh oil now. Alright guys, so bad news. Let me see if so you end up adding the 1 quart of oil to do that extra flush, but my GoPro died. And sorry for the loud noise in the background. I got my fan going on, but look, see, I still have some. So that would be the 1 quart, adding that extra oil just to get any small metal shavings that are in sitting at the bottom of the oil pan. So that's what we're doing now. But let's not forget, every kit that you guys buy comes with the new ring, so make sure you change it. I took mine off already. It's somewhere in the oil pan, so I'll be adding the new one. Alright, here's the new washer. So what I'll do now is just let it, once it starts dripping, I'll screw back on the oil plug on the oil pan. So I'll make sure I'll hand tie it, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, so it's been like a cool 5 minutes. So now we're gonna do first is hand tie it. And remember, just all we're doing is hand tight. Don't over tie it, just that's it. I feel resistant, that's it. Doesn't have to be super tight. Let's go add the 6 quarts that the car requires. But before we do that, you guys already know the process. Let's change the old oil filter with the new one. Let's not forget, it comes with the gasket as well. Here it is. So make sure you guys change all of that. That's the old gasket. That's it. Alright guys, so I can't find my funnel, so what I'll do, I'll cut it and show you guys how it actually works. Because I mentioned that not to throw this away, you could actually cut and use it as a funnel. Now, I may have a little bit of oil, but we'll just clean it around. So that's all you need. What you could do is just be careful, by the way, don't cut yourself. So you guys could do this to set the edge of the bottle. So, but I'll show you guys right now. So like I mentioned as well on the last video, I only go half and half. So it's synthetic blend, but it's not fully synthetic, just because the car is a little old. So just gonna throw that in there. But as you guys can see, it's a lot easier when you have this. But there we go, you have a free funnel. So this is not trash. Now we'll do the same when you transfer your old oil into your can, so you could go recycle it. And that's it, guys. Now I'll put you guys in my on my headband, and we'll start doing the spark plugs. Alright guys, so I already added the 6 quarts, so it's all fresh oil. Now I'm gonna show you guys how to take the spark plugs off, and they're already numbered, so you won't mess them up. But it's nothing, it's not that difficult. I'll let you guys know that right now. Okay, I don't even have to mention it. If you've seen the other video, you guys already know what happened here. But just to give you a hint, that was a shop. Okay, they're all loose. Where is it? Oh, there it is. So just don't forget the first one, it's actually connected to a ground. And always check if you have oil, then you got a gasket, a leaking gasket, or maybe one of your gaskets, it's already worn out and oil sipping through the spark plugs, but they actually look good on this one. Put this one, I'll put this one there. Looks good, no oil. Let's move to number 3. No oil, looks good. You guys probably don't see the back, but it's a lot easier once you move this out of the way. Let's look at number 4. Looks good. Number 5 looks good. Also, maybe so on number 6, so there's actually another ground, so don't forget that one. Yeah, and it looks good. All right, let's get those. Let's get all the old spark plugs, and I'll show you guys the new ones. Alright, so here's it's a 5/8 for the spark plugs, and it has a small rubber inside there that makes them kind of stay in place. Alright, here we go. So this be number 1. Same thing, you don't have to go crazy on it. Once you get it loose, just take it out slowly. And we're actually going with NGK again. So this is number 1. Oh, it's hot. Yeah, once you get it loose, just do it by hand. Alright, got 2 of them. So as I go, I'll start putting the new ones in. We don't want to get no debris or any trash in there, but here's a comparison. That's the old one, and here's the new one. Like I mentioned, hand tight. Do it by hand. Once you get it hand tight, we'll just do it right there. You'll feel it. You'll feel it when it's tight. No, come on. My socket stayed in there. There we go. By the way, don't be scared to do your own oil change or tune-up. It's not as hard as it looks. It does take time, but once you do it a couple times, it gets a lot easier. Now, worst comes to worst is that you break something, but guess what? You figured out how to take it off, it'll be a lot easier to put it back on. Okay, that's it. Like I said, just hand tight. Okay, so we know we took 2 already, so put the old ones here. All right, let's move to the 3rd one. Yeah, so don't be scared. Don't be intimidated. You guys got this. That one. Also, don't buy them. Don't buy them on AutoZone. I actually bought this once. I bought this whole set for I believe it was 45 or 50 bucks for 6 of them. I went to AutoZone and O'Reilly, and each one was $9.98. So at the end, for 6 you were gonna pay 60 plus, maybe like 70 in total. There we go. Now once we get to the 4th one, okay, there we go. All right, there, it's loose. So just in case you guys don't know how to remove this ones, let me put this back and I'll show you guys, because there's a bunch of dirt and it wouldn't be a good idea. Dirt getting inside the block. All right, same thing, change it. All right, that's it. All right, here comes the last one. Oh, it's done. Gotta get a little, still a little tight. All right, there we go. All right, here we got the last one. Oh wow, I missed one. Huh. How did I miss that? Oh, that's right. I believe once I was done with that one, I went to get the box. Alright, so we're doing the last one. So for the last one, once you get this off, doesn't have to be completely off, just enough space for you to get the spark plug in. Alright, where's my ratchet? Right. Yeah, see, so you have enough space here to get your hand. Alright, so remember, just hand tight. That's it. Alright, so we got spark plugs from 1 through 6 all done. Let me put this right here. We'll put you there, but I still need you. And then we'll go back to, so this number 5. Number 5 is there. Number 6. So now number 6. So here's the small ground that I mentioned. So it's a small cable. Number 2. Number 1. Number 4. And number 3. Now, is there a difference, or will there be a problem if you don't put them in order? Not really, but just because I already have them numbered, I won't put them the same way. Now let's say one of your coils was already old. Okay, so out of those 6, there's only one of them that's not good, so the engine's gonna run rough. So let's say number 4, right? And I put number 4 on bank number 1. What's gonna happen is that the check engine light, it's gonna go from telling me that bank number 4 is now bank number 1, that there's no spark. So just by me putting the number on it, I know that if something ever does go wrong, it'll tell me bank number 6, bank number 5. I already know which one is it. So this was just me. I put the numbers. That was just me. You guys don't have to do that, but it's a good reference. All right, here we go. They're all the same. Don't worry about it. I'm just gonna do a hand tight. All right, so for this one, you're just gonna lift it up, and once it goes in, you press down the clip and it clicks on. So it just clips on, and you start first hand tight. Same thing. Hand tight. All right, for the last one, let's not forget there's a small grounder. So there it's connected now. Now we're connecting it to the coil. So hand tight. Don't forget the wire, the connector. Okay, there we go. All right, and I'm just gonna start tying them from 6, working myself to number 1. So hand tight. There we go. That's enough. Now this one's still loose. Hand tight. Hand tight. And hopefully the GoPro's still recording. Hand tight. I wouldn't recommend using power tools. You could end up stripping anything. It's always best to do a hand tight. To take them off, you could use them. To put them back on, bad idea. Hand tight. Hand tight. And it's hand tight. hand tight. All right, and that will complete our spark plugs. Let me get all of them inside the boxes. So that way we dispose any trash, oil into its right container. So that's there. Okay, so now let me show you guys. I'm gonna take this off. So for this one, for removing the cabin filter, so it's a must. You must do this if you want to get to coil number 6 when you change your spark plugs. So hold on, let me put it back. All right, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts that you got to take out. Once you take them off, you're able to move this back and get that space that you need. But I don't have it. The shop don't know where they put them, but oh well. Now time to put this back. I gotta go on this side. There we go. Now see, that's the other reason why I want to change my cabin filter. It's been here for a while, and you could just tell it's falling apart. I'll write down on the list that I need some bolts for the cabin filter to make sure it's nice and tight. So we're done with the engine. We did the engine flush, we did our oil change, we did our spark plugs. Now once I get my air filter, cabin filter, this would be a complete tune-up. Like I mentioned, right now I'm gonna be under the car topping off my transmission fluid just in case it's low. So I believe you guys don't want to see me do the oil change, but I'll throw some clips. I'll throw some clips right now. All right guys, so that's the 17. This is worse. Man, that's... Alright, let's check it out. Like I mentioned, I'm just checking. I'm gonna top it off. I believe it should be low, but I may be wrong. Oh man, come on. Don't struggle now. Get your oil pan close to it. Cause I know it's full. I did this last year. So I know it's topped off. I did this in the beginning of the year, but I just want to double check. Oh yeah, it's good. No need to. We're good. Alright, so we know it's actually topped off. There's no transmission fluid missing, so I won't be doing this. I'll leave it as is. But I do need to do the transmission oil change beginning of summer. So we'll do the transmission again. But that's about it, guys. That's how it looks. Now let's go back to my table and I'll show you guys the difference. But once I tie this, where am I going? Also, when you're down here, every time you're under a car or working on your car, always look around, see if something's missing, something's loose. Now my transmission does leak. Let me see, let me get the camera. So my transmission does leak. Hold on. So my transmission does leak, but that's from the rear output seal. It leaks from there, and that's why it looks like that. It looks all gross. Ew, gross. All right, so look, as you guys can tell, there's it ain't leaking anymore from there, so that looks good. Everything looks good, and that's fine. If it leaks a little bit, not a big deal. We just checked it, but it leaks from back there. You guys can see that, but it leaks from down there. You guys could probably see a little bit of the oil right there. But I'm kind of afraid of doing that. I don't want to mess up the transmission, but it is a gasket, so it shouldn't be hard. So I'll start looking into it and probably make a video about it, but it won't be anytime soon. It's not leaking crazy, as you guys can see. If it was leaking super crazy, then we'll know that where we fill it up, it shouldn't start dripping when I start unscrewing it. But we know it has enough transmission fluid, and the car is level. Just in case somebody throws it in a comment, it is level on the jacks. So the front's not even higher than the back, or the back is lower than the front. It's so nice and level. Every time you guys do a transmission change, you guys make sure that the car is actually level, because if the back is sagging down, most of your oil, it's not going to be level. It's going to be like this, and once it goes back to normal, it'll be less than if you had the car level. Right, guys, enough talking, let's get to the table. Alright guys, that's the old one. Well, that's the old gasket. Here we have, this is after. Just like the other one, the consistency like watery after doing the engine flush. And this one, but it looks good. I'll tell you guys that. It looks since the first time when we did the oil change, it actually looks, it has that actual color of fresh oil. It has that golden color. It's not dark, but we can't really do any there's no differences. This is after, this is before. Before looks thicker, just like the old video, and the after looks thinner, of course, because we did the engine flush. But that's gonna wrap up this video, guys. Once I get my filter, air filter, cabin filter, I'll slap those on, and don't really have to be on camera. But we're done. We're pretty much done, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.